What are you breaking my balls for? All right, it's about that time for another episode of Breakin Ballz. I'm your host, Johnny P. And how's everybody doing? Joining me tonight again, my co-host. And what did I do to deserve this? Lou Martini Jr.
What did you do to deserve this? Come on, you're a good guy, and you surround yourself with good people, Johnny.
The best
Johnny,
people.
The Jack of all jocularity, man. Say, at Staten Island.
The Jack of Jackin'.
John, I don't know how you do it. You do it every week. We have a great show every week. But this week, as the great Joe Franklin would say, we have an all-star panel, a super-duper show with super-duper people. Johnny, introduce them. I didn't want to talk about anything until you introduce these guys and get them going because I love the both of them. I'm big fans. And just go ahead, please. Forget about me. Go to them.
And
forget about me.
We're not even going to rave about anything yet. We'll save for that. My first guest up tonight, he's been in the radio industry for years, and he's works for WABC, CBS FM. He's known as Brooklyn's own. And we got Joe Causi in the house.
Hey,
what's up,
there
Joe?
you
Wait a
go.
second.
What's up, Johnny?
I got to break balls around. I'm confused.
Yeah.
WABC, CBS FM
He's
is
on
two
crack.
different.
Oh,
it's two
did
different.
I say that?
Yes,
Yeah,
you
you
said
did. You did.
WABC, CBS FM.
Let's do this over.
Why don't you?
No, it's leave it in. It's
All
fine.
right.
Just
You screwed
Joe
up.
knows where he works. Don't confuse the
I'm
man,
burnt.
please.
Okay. And my second guest up tonight, everybody knows him from The Sopranos. And he's here tonight. He has a new book out. We have Robert Funaro with us tonight.
Thank you very much.
What's up, Bobby?
I'm here to break some balls.
Like
That's
I said,
it.
a super duper panel today, John.
Let's go.
I'm telling you, French fries, my brains. I was on the line for good looks, not brains. They gave me trains. That was it. What are you going to do?
Who's writing your material these days? I want to know. Who's
You.
Okay. all right.
So, Joe, what's going on these days? I know
What's
you're
going
always
on?
busy.
But before we get into me, I got to tell you. Can I tell everybody where we are?
Definitely.
Because I don't know if this is like a
People won't know. Well, you can tell them. Try to
underground
explain
bunker
it.
where we are.
Yeah.
We're on the South Shore of Staten Island.
Yeah.
I get out of my car in the parking lot, and I hear gunfire.
Yeah.
Like, not like a couple of rounds, like AK-47 gunfire. I'm saying, what am I, in East New York or something?
Do you know why?
I didn't realize that the shooting range
Yeah.
is like right across the street.
Because the Chrysler Mansion ain't that far.
Right. So I'm ducking, like walking in this joint. You know, you hear gunfire. Like I'm from 86th Street. You know, you hear gunfire and you just duck. That's what we did.
Yeah.
But it was pretty interesting walking in here, I got to tell you.
No.
Oh, Johnny P. You got Lou,
Johnny
Lou
P,
Martini.
yeah,
You never know.
synonymous.
All you guys, I'd probably be the one that be on the most whack list.
Oh, yeah.
Are you saying that you have some enemies, Johnny P?
Listen,
No, not
if
at
I
all.
didn't have any enemies, then
Everybody loves Johnny P. Come on, who you
not
bullshitting?
everybody.
Who you
So
bullshitting?
that's okay.
Come on.
Listen,
Come on.
everyone can't love everybody. Look at Elvis Presley. He had millions and millions of fans, and then there were millions of people that didn't like him.
Yeah.
All the husbands and the boyfriends.
Right.
You know. So listen. And
There'll
that's it.
never be another Elvis.
No, Elvis was the.
Johnny,
great.
did you
I
ever
love
get to
it.
meet him?
No,
Being in the
no.
music radio business, you never get to meet him?
No, he was before my time.
Was there one guy that you met in all your years of radio and travels that
Mm-hmm.
you went like gaga over? You know what I'm saying? It was like, wow, I can't believe
You
I'm
know
meeting
who I
this
met,
guy.
and I was really excited to see him, and I did a show with him at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and I'm a huge Jimmy Buffett fan. Okay, Parrot Head. You know, I went to all his concerts, loved the heck out of him, and I finally got a chance to be like really close with him, and very standoffish.
Really? That's always
Real-
disappointing, right?
It is.
When you hear
Real
always like,
douchebag. I was like saying, after all these years,
I know.
You know, I says, I hate to talk to somebody who's dead like that, but not what I expected.
no, we call douchebags on this show for douchebags.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We could
don't
say
hold
that,
back.
right?
Yeah, we don't hold back, Joe.
We
Oh,
just
I can't
don't
hold back? Oh,
we
get
just,
ready.
we don't
we
hold
just
back.
don't use
Get
the
ready.
we don't use the C word. That's
we
it.
name names.
See, I can't. When I was on, it was serious with Vinny Pastore and you know, Vinny Vella.
The
and
Real
all those
Wise
guys.
Guy Show.
The Real Wise Guy Show. Though they gave us like carte blanche, whatever we wanted to say. You could curse, do whatever you wanted. But I just couldn't do it because I was in radio my whole life.
Yeah.
And like you're trained not to like flub like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I never cursed on the Wise Guy Show ever.
Cha-Cha did a lot, right?
Oh, Cha-Cha did things. We did crazy stuff. We had an intern one time that we would get in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The show would go on at 6. So we would get in at 4. And at 4 o'clock, we'd have like sandwiches, you know, Manhattan specials.
Yeah.
Little sandwiches. And we'd have them first. And then at 6 o'clock, we'd have pizza delivered. You know, this is what we do, you know. And every time they brought the pizza, like we'd order like, I don't know, 5 pies. And there was always a pie missing. The engineers would take it, and one would always disappear. We walk in the studio, and we were in like a glass thing, and we see the interns eating the pizza.
Oh, wow.
So we go up to the Cha-Cha thing, went up to the intern. He goes, "Where'd you get that pizza?" He goes, "Oh, it was on the table. I took it, so we can have some." "Oh, you did, huh?" He goes, "How long you working there?" "Oh, I just started it a couple of weeks ago."
Oh, geez.
Now, we're on the 36th floor overlooking Rockefeller Center.
Oh, jeez.
He makes the kid drop his pants
No.
No way.
and face outside the window holding the pizza box for the whole hour of the show.
Get out of here.
That's what he did to this kid. He goes, "And now you'll never steal pizza again." Today, you do that today.
Yeah.
Forget about it. You're in...
Well, ask Bobby about the
Obviously,
legendary
that-
catering with Sopranos. I mean, the Sopranos
Oh, it's
catering
gotta
food
be
was
awesome.
legendary.
Yeah, talk
Number
about
one.
that.
Legendary.
Number one, well, we always are taking care of baked ziti, all kinds of different Italian cuisine. It was great crafty, great food. All number one stuff,
And I got to tell you, I don't know if I ever told you this at the time when it happened, but I'm going to tell you now because I'm going to pat you on the back because your final episode, my friend,
Oh,
you should have been nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah.
You should have won a
Yeah,
fucking
Yeah,
Emmy.
yeah, that was great.
I was up for one, but I didn't get the nomination.
It was, but I got to pat you on the back. It was
Thank you.
just
Thank
wonderful
you, Lou.
work. I loved
Thank
it,
you.
and
Yeah, it looked real.
I mean,
Great.
nobody
Thank you very
dies
much.
like you.
I know.
And you
Well, I
came
did-
back to life.
Yes.
You're like Jesus.
Yes,
It's
I came back to
unbelievable.
life. Lazarus, like Lazarus.
Yeah,
he brought me
yeah,
back.
yeah.
He brought me back. It's
Wow.
great to do it on TV, but now you don't have to do it. Being
Now,
in a coffin's kind of weird.
How did you hang?
That was the worst thing.
I was going to ask him
How
that.
did you hang up? How did you hang?
How did that work?
Pete Cosi, we rehearsed it outside of the Bada Bing Satin Dolls, and they did a big. I
Harness?
talk about it in the book. They put a big like a circus tent, circus tent in the parking lot. A lot of people came up, said, "What's going on?" It was secrecy and everything. But inside that little tent, we rehearsed with Pete, looking for the right brace.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the right one. The rope around the neck, of course, that's a dummy rope.
Mm-hmm.
And he sent out to California for this.
Oh,
but
yeah?
we had to rehearse with different braces. He found the right one for me. He was a great stunt coordinator.
Yeah, one
great
of the
guy.
best,
And,
one of the best.
So you were
I got
hanging
to
on
meet him and
something while you
become
were
his
doing
friend.
this, I
Yeah.
guess, right?
Huh? Yeah. It's like a brace on
That's
your thing,
cool.
and this dummy rope and everything.
Yeah, it looks so real,
You
man.
felt so bad for him because he was trying to get out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for
Well,
his
that's the
family.
thing. That's the thing. I mean, people up until then, people knew me for this Snapple bottle.
Yeah, that's the best. That was
so
great.
when I got the episode, I thought to myself, well, this is really good because everybody, I say this many times. Brandon would talk about Waterfront.
Yeah.
I could have been somebody. I could have been in Content. I'm not comparing myself to him,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just saying that that's a memorable thing. People can relate to being a contender. People can relate to they're in a situation or business and they want to get out and they can't.
Yeah.
And they suffer the consequences of not being able, whether they do what,
was
they
great
do what
work,
I
my
did,
friend. Great
or maybe
work.
they go to
Yeah.
church or they need to do something. But yeah,
Let me ask
Thank
this
you, thank you,
question.
Lou.
Let me ask this to you. Like how you got a lot of crazy fans and everybody will come up to you and say, well, do this part, do that part. Did anyone ever say, like, could you hit me in the head with a bottle? Did they, like, everyone
No,
that was a big,
no.
like, Eugene
do
fan?
me a favor, do the right thing. When I had a junior's juror, Bruce McVitie, the actor Bruce. Remember Bruce? Yeah, I worked with people will say, do me a favor. We know you do the right thing, stuff like that. But not too much. They don't really quote a lot of stuff.
Nothing crazy, right?
Yeah.
Now,
do me a
listen-
favor, hold this. Whatever.
Listen, life
They're more
has to-
interested in breaking my balls about peeing, and they want to know how I pissed. I told them it was like
How was it?
it was
How-
a mechanical piss machine in my pants. Okay. But I got to tell you one thing. One person at one of these events, these Soprano events, they wanted me to sign a picture of myself hanging, and he offered me a lot of money. And I said, "No way, man! I'm not going to
Wow.
sign that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to. It's
Yeah,
just so morbid.
Yeah,
Why would
no,
I
it is.
sign me hanging?"
How
Artie-
was it? How
Well,
was
Artie
it working
Pasquale,
with
our buddy Artie Pasquale,
Yeah.
that's his publicity shot that he uses.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
he got whacked on
He
Sopranos.
gave me a friggin'
Yeah.
picture this big, Artie Pasquale, him getting choked.
Yeah, garroted
Right, and he signed it.
from Stevie Van
And it was a
Zandt,
big
right?
one he gave me.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I Rob,
And Tony Ray Rossi got choked too, didn't he?
did
He got strangled. Yes,
He
he
got
got strangled.
strangled.
Yes. Tony strangles him.
Yeah.
Jimmy strangles him.
Now,
yeah.
Bobby, life after Sopranos, you had been doing a lot of side work and a lot of movies like the
American Gangster.
and you were in a bunch of stuff. But now with this new book, it's called Homemade by Robert Funaro. You got 8 Soprano stories, 8 recipes. Talk about this. What made you want to do it?
Well, my business manager asked me to, if I wanted to do a cookbook. COVID came. I started cooking. I started posting, giving a hand on the internet, and people started liking it. I got a lot of followers and everything. So he said, "Why don't you do a cookbook?" I said, another actor doing a cookbook is boring. I said, well, maybe if I limit the cookbook to maybe an episode to a recipe, and I could talk about, I picked certain recipes from my mother, grandmother, my Aunt Ray's eggplant parmesan, then couple it with an episode. I'll talk about my relationship with Jimmy, my friendship with him, and each episode, what I went through, and what happened to me on the show, and certain little things, and working with certain people on the show, and so it became that kind of a thing. Each episode, there's one really great episode where I had the golf cart. I didn't have too much to say, but it was more fun doing it with James. Driving up with the golf cart, and he tells me I got a horseshoe up my ass because I beat him at the game. How'd you like that shot? You got a horseshoe up your ass. But before we hit the mark and we kind of got out and started talking the dialogue, driving up to the mark, he says to me, like 2 or 3 texts I talk about, I'm going to say it now in here. He says, I'll give you, I think it was like $4,000 or $5,000 if you drive the golf cart into that pond. And
into the what, Bobby?
Into the pond. The golf.
Yeah.
He said, driving into the pond. I'm going to give you $5,000. Come on, man. He was so bored. He was so out of it.
Did you do it?
No, of course not. I fucking if he gets hurt. I thought about it. I talk about it in the book. If he gets hurt, I think that's it for me. He breaks his arm. Production, millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They got a schedule. So I said, I'm not doing it.
What if he said, "Let me get out of the car," and you drive it into the thing? Would you would have did it?
If you
did it,
I would have done that.
Well, I was driving it. What do you mean?
But if he says, "Bobby, you drive it in, I'm going to get out and watch you."
Oh, if he wasn't in the,
if it was just
if
you,
Jimmy wasn't in the
you
way,
would have been in there probably,
yeah,
right?
sure, I would have made it wrong time. He said to me, "Come on, Bobby, you say the steering wheel
sorry,
got
guys,
stuck."
The gas, I hit the gas pedal to the brake.
Another reason why they would fire me. But that was a funny story. He was serious. He really meant what he said.
You were lucky and blessed to have the opportunity to work with James Gandolfini. It's just, it is today. So today you feel his passing.
If he was still around, I'd love to know how big he would have became.
Yeah,
he was huge.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. But I mean, could you imagine how bigger he would?
He doesn't get, and I'm sure Bobby will agree with this by working with him. All the stuff that I did was with either Vince Curatola or Jimmy, and he doesn't get half the credit he deserves as an actor, not just an Italian-American actor that played Italian-American parts. I mean, the most amazing thing to me, I remember my first day on a job, a scene was with him where they steal the sunglasses from me in the shop, famous scene, and Jimmy was Jimmy and stuff like that, but Bobby, as soon as they say rolling, everything, Joe, changes. His posture would change. His breathing would change. His eyes would go back in his head a little bit. I mean, for him to see this transformation from Jimmy to Tony Soprano, it was an amazing thing to see. And I don't think the guy gets enough credit as an actor from actors being just the wonderful actor he was.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he did Broadway, and he proved that he was just more than just a wise guy.
The Last Castle, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, The Castle. Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, didn't you?
He had a lot of versatility.
Didn't you work with him? Didn't he give you the lead to go into The Sopranos?
He didn't give me the lead. I mean, I had to earn it.
You know what I mean?
I did a play, Streetcar, named Desire with him, and then 10, 12 years after the play, he's in and out of New York and everything, and a friend of mine, Gordon, he went up to him at a party and said to him, "Hey, if I was you, I'd get your friend Bobby Funaro a job on your show." It was 2 years into the show. He said, well, "Bobby, oh yeah, what's Bobby doing?" We met a few times, but then we lost touch. But he came back from True Romance from California, so. And he had 2 years on Sopranos, and he said, "Oh, what's Bobby doing?" And he said, "Well, he's working at Caroline's. He's managing Caroline's on Broadway. He's a manager there." He said, "Oh, okay." And then a role came up, the role of Ralph Cifaretto.
Okay.
And he thought I would be right for it. I played Stanley. It turned out that I wasn't right for it. The chemistry wasn't right. I talk about that in the book between me and him. And then ran into this guy named Eugene who likes to hit people with Snapple bottles. So
Are you
he
serious?
He came down to Caroline's, he came with Joe Fay, his driver. And he was going around to a couple of comedy clubs before he hit, because he couldn't remember the comedy club. He got to Caroline's. I'm going to work that day about 5 o'clock. I walk down, because Caroline's, you had to go down the steps. You ever been there? And because his back is to me at the bar. I said, "Is that Jimmy?" Yeah. He comes around and says, "Hey, Bobby, how you doing?" I said, "What's going on? What are you doing here?" "Well, I got something. Have you been acting?" Of course, I lied. I said, "Yes, I've been acting." And he said, I really was. I watched Sopranos here and there, but I wasn't really an avid fan. Yeah. So there's an audition, and I'd like you to audition for this part. I can't promise you anything. And then I landed that role, So, and then of course it happened.
That's great.
And that's how I got on the show. But that's the kind of guy he was. He's somewhat sent the elevator down. Jack Lemmon always said, got to send the elevator down. I'm sure any one of us in this room would send the elevator down. Lou, if I had the power, you'd be. I'd send it for you or you.
And that's how it works. You never know. Years later, the person that you met is the one who's going to open the door for you.
Yes.
I was doing a thing when we were on Sirius, and how I got that. Steve Van Zandt found out about me. I was doing the Sinatra channel on Sirius, and he goes, he was talking to people about me. He goes, "Yeah, he would be pretty good." And I had to go down to Avenue A in East First, in Lower East Side. This bar called Manitoba's.
Okay.
That's still there, too.
I met him in the corner of the bar.
Oh, really?
And we sat for an hour, me and Steve Van Zandt, and then that's
And you never met him before that, or no?
Never met him.
So you must have been excited, right?
Yeah. It was
How
a
many
big
years
deal.
you on the air now, Joseph?
45.
Oh, wow, that's great.
45
What a
years.
career.
Yeah.
40. Where'd you start out? What town?
Hibbing, Minnesota, home of Bob Dylan.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is that like?
God.
Is that
60 miles south of Canada.
Wow.
And great story. My fifth grade music teacher found out I was in broadcast school. And I don't know how she found out, because she always knew that I was going to do something in music. And I'll tell you a great story about her. She calls me up. A friend of mine has a radio station in Minnesota. Would you want to go? So I'm 18 and a half. I says, "Yeah, I'll go." There I am, a kid from Brooklyn, I get a suitcase, get on a plane. So I thought it was like Mary Tyler Moore, Minneapolis.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to get on another plane. I get on this little prop job, and all I see is snow and trees. And meanwhile, this is like the end of March. Snow and more trees, and then just snow. And nobody. I get off the plane. Everybody, it was 20, 25 degrees, people around in shorts.
Wow.
Because it's like 40 below zero there. Once it starts snowing, it never
Is
melts.
this in the north part of the state? The northern part of Minnesota?
Northern Minnesota.
Jeez.
Hibbing, Minnesota. Home of Roger Maris is from there, and Bob Dylan. Those are the only two people. And I was there for 6, 7 months. Lived in a boarding house, paying $5 a day.
Wow.
$150 a week I was making, and that was it.
Listen,
I was going to be a sportscaster. I went to.
I could see that you
I
doing
went to. I was
that.
going to be a sportscaster. I was in broadcasting school.
Yeah.
Still to this day, one of the best broadcasting schools, University of Houston.
Yeah.
And my senior year, I got a job offer, my first job offer, to do overnight radio in Pikeville, Kentucky.
Wow.
Now I said to myself, man, now Pikeville, Kentucky now is like a suburb of Cincinnati, probably. It's probably really nice and big, but this is 1984 Pikeville, Kentucky. I'm like, man, do I really want to go to Pikeville, Kentucky? I'm 20 years old. I'm shitting in my pants. I won't know anybody. I'll have no idea. Or I says, you know what? I could go back to New York now because I was a child actor. And I says, you know what? I can get a resume. And either way, I figured I'm going to struggle. But if I went back to New York and I tried to get back into the acting business, I would be struggling amongst family and friends as opposed to Pikeville, Kentucky. But I always still have thoughts of what if I would have took that bus to Pikeville that day.
You never know.
What would have
You never
happened?
know.
But it's same thing. You start out in these small towns and stuff.
So I came back, and then from one stage to another. But great story about this teacher. 3 years ago, I'm at the Feast of San Gennaro doing my show from the main stage right outside on Grant Street. Who's out in the crowd? She's there. She's 91 years old.
Oh, wow.
She comes over to me. I brought her up on stage, told everybody about it. It was like 2,000 people in the
Wait,
street.
so who recognized who? She was 91.
I saw her in the crowd.
You recognized
So
her?
she came to see me at the feast.
That's great.
So
Wow.
that summer, and she was still driving. You know, that summer, I put the TV on. It was at night. I heard something happen in Bay Ridge. She was pulling into her condo. She put her car in drive. She hit her garage thing. It wasn't opening. She gets out to put her coat in. The car disengages.
Oh, jeez.
And she dies.
Oh, poor.
So I went to her wake. So now every year we do we just had it at Russo's on the Bay 2 weeks ago.
What a shame.
It's called the Italian Festival of Song. Yeah. And I give a memorial award in her honor every year.
That's nice.
That's cool, Joe.
Yeah,
That's cool.
You know, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever played instruments or anything like that? Were you ever?
Me? I play 4 instruments. Yeah.
Okay. What
Yeah.
do you play?
My son is a band.
What do you play?
I play guitar, play drums.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
I never knew
I
that.
had 3 keyboards home.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, you got a drummer right here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm surprised. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Cool.
What kind of guitar you got?
I just got a nice Ibanez Jazz.
Oh, yeah?
So I like that hollow sound, you know, like that Gretsch sound.
I'm a Gibson guy. I mean, I could play.
Well, you're
but-
a rock and roller.
Yeah, I don't consider myself a great guitar player. I learned to write, but I can play rhythm. But I believe everybody who plays the instrument should be able to play the instrument great and look.
Well, it's
cool.
easy to learn, right, John? If you learn one instrument, they say it's easy to pick up
Sometimes
another one,
you
right?
gotta. I mean, the guitar, drums, everything's a different feel, and the older you learn, the harder it is. You got when you. But
What was your first gig?
I was my first
Your first gig?
first real gig.
Yeah.
Like a real gig in front of thousands of thousands
No,
of people.
not thousands. Your first
It was.
gig.
It was at the
Like-
It was at the Oktoberfest in Tottenville, 1981.
Yeah?
I was 15, but then I was playing bars at 16 years old with
Wow.
guys that were 18 because the drinking age was 18, and none of them had licenses. And they were all going for city jobs. And my father loved them all, so he would give us the van, and because they knew how to drive, but they would drink, and I didn't like to drink.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to drive the van home at 16 years old, like from the I don't know if you remember, like the Aquahanga in Tottenville and the Ultimate Lounge, I think it was in Tottenville.
I'm a disco guy.
Yeah, so.
I'm a pastels guy.
Cosmopolitan.
What about the Wagon
Tramps?
Wheel? You ever remember that place? It was a go-go bar after a while. That's when it was a Black Garter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was playing in bars young at that time. But yeah, and I was with bullshit garage bands before that. So I started learning at 12 years old.
Wow.
Then I still play. Then I studied years later with Jim Chapin, the father of Harry Chapin.
Wow.
Big shot with the
Throwing out names.
big shot.
What was that sound? Oh,
Saturday Night
that's the sound
Fever.
of the
Were you
name
around with that?
Oh, yeah.
That was a peak
That was a
of
big deal. Yeah.
big
Hey,
deal.
Joe, were you one of those kids that late at night you were under the covers listening to Alan Freed? Or did you always want to be in radio? Or?
I always liked, he had cassettes back then,
cassettes.
And I always talked up songs and did, talked up intros of records and stuff. And I always wanted to do that.
Did you always want to be an actor, Bobby, when you were young, too?
You know what? I still remember, like, on Bath Avenue and Bath and 18th Avenue, my father used to work at this place, Robinette Fabrics, and we had like a residential house on that block. I don't know, for some reason they had like so we lived at the top, and my father worked downstairs. Of course, that wasn't very good because when I cut it up, he'd come upstairs and give me the strap, he'd give me a few shots. But I still remember his boss' name was Howie Semmel. He owned the place, Robinette Fabrics. And he came up one time, he would come up, and we had to sing, my father would let us sing. We had entertained sometimes. And I still remember to this day singing a little Act Naturally by Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All you got to do is, they're going to put me in the movies.
Did you like it?
Brother, I tell you, I still remember that song, so I guess so. I mean, then going to, my uncle was a, Father Joe, Monsignor Funaro, he raised a priest in Brooklyn, Catholic Charities. He raised money. He did musicals.
Oh, wow.
And we would go. It was a big event to go to his music. It started in Howard Beach, but then it got bigger and bigger. And he did Music Man. He got the real composers would come to see his shows and everything. And professional, some of his dancers and musical people went on to Broadway. So he became better and better. And I got the bug from him going to see his shows and everything, So,
Yeah.
But I still remember Act Naturally.
Bath Avenue back then was really good.
Rough.
And speaking of music, you
That
remember?
was a rough area.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
right near
remember
the precinct,
around there?
Right near the precinct, yeah.
Do you remember Bath music?
Yeah.
Because you know who
Castellano.
Yeah,
Johnny Castellano.
That's where I got my first drum set.
Yeah, me too.
They lived in the store. Or the back was the
Did you
kitchen.
steal it or did you pay for it?
Bath
Excuse me?
music.
Did you steal it or did you pay for it?
No, I didn't steal it. Wise ass.
Bad music. His mother, remember his mother?
I wasn't hiking back then. Yeah, his mother and his father. She was making the sauce in the back, and then they lived upstairs. But the basement had everything. There were drums, shit, parts. If I needed parts, they had everything I needed. I loved that place. And then years later, the Castellanos. But yeah, my dad bought me my first Ludwig drum set there.
Cool.
Ludwig.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
My father showed up when I must have been, when we were living on the Lower East Side, so I couldn't have been more than 7 tops because we moved to Sunnyside, 67. He walks in the door with a beautiful, gorgeous, like a blue, sparkly Silver Star drum set and whatever like that, right? And then in the bag on his shoulder, this bag is moving around, and he's bringing the drums in and stuff and putting the drums in. This bag is moving around, and then out of the bag jumps a monkey. He brought home a monkey with a drum set.
A monkey?
And the mother's like, are you out of your mind? They both got to go. The drums got to go, and the monkey's got to go. But we kept the drums for about 2 weeks. I drove my mother crazy, and they got rid of the drums. The monkey was out that night, though.
What kind of monkey was it? A chimp, or was it a skinny monkey?
It was a chimpanzee.
See, I love monkeys, but
back in the day,
they shit everywhere. They throw shit at you.
Well, you got to put a diaper on.
But back in the days, these guys had things in cages in their basement. You hear stories about guys having tigers and lions in cages.
Mean
in their
Streets.
basement.
That was the truth.
Who told that story?
We were
recently?
talking. We had Frankie DiMattio on last week from the Mob Candy magazine.
Story.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Frankie told a story about a guy that used to bring guys down to his basement.
Little Jojo.
Money. Yes, that's based on a true story.
And imitates life. But you don't hear too many stories about drummers and their moms and like drumming and what they had to go through in order to. What do you do when you want to drum? When you want to drum, you go to a studio.
My mom and dad, they were great. We moved to Staten Island when I was 12, but when I saw Kiss at 10 years old, I told my dad, I want to play the drums. I really want to. That's what I want to do. Right. He goes, wait till we move to Staten Island, and we have a little extra money, and then I'll buy it for you. And then once we moved, I started lessons, and then they bought me a drum set.
So you're playing since you're 10?
12. But it was in my bedroom, and so my bedroom's here. My dad's bedroom's here. It was in my corner. So my mother said, no. He has to get set up in the basement. So then they put me in the basement, and then they wound up giving me my own spot that was like big, and I wound up making a studio down there. And my father was cool. My father was great.
Did you play in school too?
I was in the marching band.
Me too. I played bass drum.
Oh, you did?
Lafayette.
Yeah, they screwed me. I was on the snare, and I don't know. I didn't show up a couple of things, and they put this guy. I remember his name. I think Joe Causi, and he was on the snare. He was like a wimp, and then they put me on the bass drum, and I told them, I go, the next time I come here, you're not playing the snare. And if you do, I'm going to give you a fucking beating. And then the next time I went there, I had the snare, and he was on the thing doing this, and he goes, you think John? He goes, he's supposed to be playing. He goes, no, that's okay. My hand hurts. So, I'm playing Star Wars, and he's boom, 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 boom,
I used to too.
Oh, you did?
Too. Yeah, it was good.
That was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, I had a good time. You had the uniform, the whole thing.
Yeah. The theme from Rocky and Star Wars, the theme. It was fun.
Right. Good stuff.
I used to rob the tuning key out of there all the time because I used to lose them a lot. Who saw the tuning key?
Where'd you go to school?
What did you not steal?
Graduated Newdorf High School.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was 24.
Oh, so you moved here later on?
Yeah, in like 63.
Oh, okay.
64, we moved here, and I started PS 52, and then went to IS 24, and then, of course, graduated Newdorf at 77, right at the epoch of Bruce's.
Oh, you were driving in the school
Bruce
with my
Springsteen.
wife?
He was big, huh?
My wife was in the school at that time.
Yeah, I think we might have discussed that.
Yeah,
What year you moved here? How old were you?
About 64. I think it was 64, 65, 66, actually.
How old were you?
I was about 7.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you moved young.
Yeah.
I'm glad
But
I got
still in Brooklyn in terms of the food and the greatness of the food and the people.
I'm glad I got to be there at 12 years old because when I moved to Staten Island, I cried. I was miserable.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go up to Staten Island.
Well, one thing I have to say, I was able to do a lot more in terms of things. It was less crowded.
Oh, yeah.
Sports were less crowded. I mean, I never liked football, that Pee Wee thing. They wanted me to play. I never was into that.
That was big in Brooklyn.
But then I did track and field.
Were you a big kid, Bobby? Were you bigger?
No, I kind of grew up in high school. So I started running track, high hurdles, and stuff like that. Wow. And I enjoy track. Maybe it's because of the solitary, I don't like being yelled at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
I was
Yeah, I don't know
6'4",
people breaking
13.
my balls.
Really?
But they're kind of crazy out here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was 6'4", 13 years old.
6'4"?
13 years old, yeah.
Wow. Because Bobby's got to be 6'3", right?
Yeah,
now?
6'3".
Did you guys used to fight a lot? Were you fighters when you were younger?
Never.
No, never.
No?
Never. I hated that stuff, man.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
I was,
Laid back?
yeah, like, even like later on, like my friends would be, some people that I knew, he's on shit, you know? I never even knew it. And I was like with these people every day.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know who was on drugs.
So you
and
didn't
stuff.
fall into that whole drug scene. That's great, Joe.
Yeah, never.
No, never smoked pot?
No, I'm just naturally dumb.
That's
naturally stupid.
No, but that my dad didn't do it either. That's good.
Yeah. Good
What
stuff.
about you, Bobby? Did you
I
mess
smoke
up?
pot.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a couple of holes in my nose.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
But I learned my lessons well. You know what I'm saying?
No, me too. I went through a lot. God spared me, thank God.
Yeah.
God spared me.
God's
and my
great,
dad,
man. God is
my
great.
mom and dad.
You still go back to Brooklyn?
Not as much as I like.
Yeah.
You know?
There's really nothing.
It's not
Like
the
all my connections are out of there now.
Yeah, it's not
my
the
whole
same.
family's here. And I just go there for two things now.
Coney Island.
Well, three things: Nathan's,
Yeah.
La Polina, and
L&B.
L&B. That's
You
it.
must make a trip. He's been there for about 2 years now. It is absolutely the finest Italian food you've ever had in your life. It's a place called Brooklyn Roots. You probably heard of it.
Yeah, that's
Where is it?
that's my Bob's brother.
Where is it?
Oh, my God. It's
That's
unbelievable.
Louis DeMassi's brother.
He's on like 85th Street,
Yeah.
84th Street.
Yeah.
He's right next to the Kettle Black, that famous Irish bar on
Yeah,
the corner there.
yeah.
Cool, I gotta
Bobby,
get-
when I
get over
tell you,
there.
it's fantastic. We'll go one night. I mean, it's
Yeah, let's
fantastic. It's our
definitely
favorite.
go.
We go once every 2 weeks, my wife and I.
I gotta
It's
go.
fantastic.
I like Gino's. I just was at Chadwick's Bay Ridge. Got some great
Never been to
restaurants.
Chadwick's, and I walk by it every day.
Oh, man, the steak is...
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Anthony
Tremendous,
Mangano, our
man.
friend, loves Chadwick's.
Yeah,
Raves
nice
about
rib
it.
steak with charbroil.
Reasonable?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's reasonable. I mean, what is reasonable now?
Everything's going up.
Everything, yeah.
Everything's
Four
going
things at a supermarket's $50.
You go into a
you know?
diner for eggs, bacon, and
Wow.
eggs. You pour $20.
It's crazy.
Yeah, if you want bacon, it's $20. Yeah.
I paid $19 for a roast beef sandwich the other day.
I paid
was
$19
shocked.
for a dozen eggs.
Crazy.
I used to pay $13.
19, and did you or no?
19.
I didn't pay. That's what it was marked.
I paid $10. That's what I paid.
$19 for a dozen eggs.
This is the
Yeah,
reason.
you're about
yeah,
6 months away from that
much
really
did you
dropping.
pay?
No.
I didn't pay for $19.
But where was it? Where were they selling it for that?
I think it was Key Food.
That's a place where you got to get a double shopping bag and just walk in there and fill them up and just walk out. And that's it.
But
This
we'll
is
get
why-
arrested if we do that.
This is
You know
why
what
you
I
have
mean?
to start cooking. That's why you got to get the book and start cooking for
Yeah.
Where
yourself.
can you get the book, Bobby?
I love
Get it
cooking
on,
too, Bobby.
It's on Amazon. Just put in my name, Homemade Robert Funaro. You get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I'm doing a signing on at Barnes & Noble on March 8th at 12 p.m.
Okay,
here
we
on
gotta-
Staten Island.
I'll be
Oh,
there.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we got to
cool,
go.
March 8th?
Cool. Yes,
I'm
March
there,
8th,
I'm
12.
Yeah, Joe, definitely.
Yes.
Right. Joe, you ever write a book? Well, think about writing a book. You should, right?
You know, I
You
really
gotta write a
wanted
book.
to.
You could write a book,
'Cause I have so many stories. Like
You got
a zillion stories.
There's been so many up and downs. Like I worked in the funeral business for 10 years. I did that.
Oh, you
I
did?
When did you do that?
During up and downs. Yeah.
And what you
know?
do
between
there?
radio.
You bomb the people or no?
I used to help carry and dress and
Gotcha.
that kind of stuff. You know, it was like unbelievable things. I mean, every day was different. You never knew what you
So
were going
you
to see.
had your peaks and valleys in the
Oh,
business.
yeah.
And that, it's been 45 years of just...
Oh yeah. People think even like with actors, they think it's everything is
Oh, yeah.
sunshine
We
and
know.
raviolis.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like that.
No.
It's not. You got to keep
You
it
know?
going.
I'm
Lou,
working
let
Wednesday.
me-
Thank God I just booked a job. It's been a little bit.
But let me ask you, Lou, what was the, like, we've all had side jobs. What was a job like in between shows that, you know what I mean, that you really disliked? Or whatever you had
I'll
to do?
tell you the
I have a few myself.
worst
but-
job. I did it once, and I'll never do it again. And it turns out that my first date with my wife, I was doing costume work. Now, costume work means you're in a costume. I did it one time. I was working at Javits Center, and I was working for a company that was selling spyware, spy stuff. So I had to walk around with a overcoat on and a fedora and like a little man. It was the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen in your life. And I'm walking around fucking cursing myself like, never again, never again. This is embarrassing. And it's like I had met my honey, Betty Ann, like, I don't know, a week or 2 weeks before that. And this is the night I was going to take her out. So she says, okay, well, I'll pick you up at work, blah, 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 blah. And I was totally like, man, I don't want her picking me up in this fedora and this overcoat. You know what I'm saying? So I walk out of the Javits Center, and it was wintertime, so I had the overcoat on. I still had the fedora on and stuff. I'm looking ridiculous, man. She pulls up in the car, and I put my head in, and she thought I was like a flasher. She's like, "Excuse me, sir." I says, "No, it's Louis.
That's
It's me.
great.
I was
Great.
doing a spy show. Believe me, this is a costume. I'm going to take the costume off in the car. Please believe me."
That's great.
But that was one of the. We've all had them.
I did some. I was Big Bird at McDonald's when I was 16.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Did you work out back then?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying now, too.
Yeah.
I'm back in the gym now.
What was
too.
yours,
It's a
Bobby?
lot
I'll let
harder.
Bobby off the hook here.
Yeah,
What was
well,
yours?
it'll keep you moving.
I've had a number of them. I hated the waitering. I tried waitering at the Elephant Castle on Greenwich Street in New York. And one night I was just so miserable. I threw the bus tray, and the owner said, "Hey, that's really loud. You got to do that really soft." I said, "You know what? I freaking quit."
I'm surprised you didn't hit no one in the head.
The boss came up to me, "Oh, please," because it was like at the height of it was a Friday. I said, "Oh, please don't quit. Please stay." I said, "No, I'm out of here, man. That's it. That's it."
Right in the middle of the shift, right?
Yeah, right in the middle of the shift. I left. That was.
Yeah, we all waited tables, bartended,
I
bounced.
didn't like
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I, just
I
didn't like
can't
that
do
public-
customer service.
Me
How
too.
old were you when you did McDonald's?
I was 16.
I was 16 too. My father got me.
24th and 86.
Oh yeah, I was in Greenwich Plaza. My father knew the guy Jimmy there, and he goes, "Yeah, you think you get my son a job?" Like my father always was trying to get me a job. And then I had an interview, and that's when I was in the rock band. I was starting to grow my hair, and they made me cut my hair. I didn't even want to go in there, but my father got me in there. So I worked there, cut my hair. And I used to work down Asbury Park in the summertime with my Uncle Junior because he had a concession stand there.
Yeah.
So I used to make the burgers the way he made them. So you're supposed to make the burgers the way McDonald's makes them. You're supposed to put the cheese on at the end and not to melt it. So I was just making them myself. And they kept telling me, "You can't do this way. This is McDonald's way. And you got to put the cheese on at the end." So at the end, I just kept doing it. And then I finally got caught. And he goes, "Listen, you don't listen." I go, "We don't do it like that over here." He goes, "You're fired." And that was it. Then when I had the guy John Maloney on my show, the comedian, and he
John's
asked-
very funny.
He's great. And he told me, he says it was so funny. And he goes, "I can't believe, I heard you worked at McDonald's and you got fired for making the," he goes, "Why'd you get fired?" I go, "Because I made the burger my way." He goes, yeah, I would make it my way. And that's how I want to know. Like he started doing.
You've always bucked the system, Johnny P.
I always bucked. I can't
Whether
help
it be
it.
McDonald's
Do you
or-
know how many people in high places, politicians, CEOs, worked at McDonald's? It was astounding how many people.
I worked at a White Castle.
Wow,
Not McDonald's. I
that's
worked at a
big.
White
Oh, that's
Castle.
tough.
That's a big deal.
And especially if you're in a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
No, I worked in Sunnyside, my neighborhood, which was good at the time. You know, I
They
worked at
fry
White
those
Castle.
burgers with the onions, right? That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah,
They used to be bigger back in the day. Now they're like they're like this big.
And they were
it's like
4
anything
cents.
else, like right?
They were now, I remember like 16 cents.
yeah. When I started there in when did I start working there? It's probably like 1272. They were up to like 12 cents at that point. When I moved to Sunnyside in '67, they still had the girls on the roller skates would come out in the
Yeah.
parking lot, and they were 4 cents
Wow.
at that time when we first moved there.
Everything went down with the fast food. Even like the Big Mac, the bun overcovers the burger by like at least 15%.
Did you see the Michael Keaton movie about McDonald's?
Yes,
Called
that was good. The Founder, right?
Unbelievable.
That was
movie.
cool.
Unbelievable.
He's a great actor.
movie.
Michael Keaton's great.
But I never knew what went on.
Yeah.
I mean, how he took the whole corporation away from them.
Robbed it, yeah.
Robbed it. I mean, unbelievable.
What's your favorite fast food, Joe?
If you had to pick one.
favorite fast food? It's probably White Castle.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can't stomach it like I used to.
Oh, yeah.
What about yours, John? What's
4
your favorite
o'clock in
fast
the
food?
morning, it's the best.
I mean,
It's the best.
oh yeah, definitely.
It's the best.
And do you drink, Joe, at all?
Repercussions.
Do you drink at all?
Not much.
Because that's like a great drink of food. Like any
Yeah,
grease.
because it absorbs all
Hey,
the
Bobby's a
alcohol.
food connoisseur, so he probably doesn't even eat any fast food.
I
probably stays away from
I
it.
don't eat a lot of it, but my favorite is McDonald's, a Big Mac, but it has to be hot, and
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Yeah, you
And then they
gotta
throw
When
it in the
I'm on, like,
microwave.
I go upstate to visit my granddaughter,
Sorry.
my children, and everything. And on 17, when I order it from them, it's hot. The fries are hot. They're in New York, Staten Island. I don't know. They don't get it
I'm
together.
a Taco Bell guy. I like Taco Bell.
I like
You're Taco Bell. Yeah.
I'm a Taco Bell.
I like
guy.
Wendy's.
Yeah.
Wendy's is good.
Well, Wendy's, the hamburger, the Wendy's
The
hamburger is probably the best.
Baconator is unbelievable.
One thing about them, they really actually cook the burgers, and they're hot when they come out.
Everything
Yeah,
is hot.
It's
Yeah,
hot. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
You
And
believe we're talking about hamburgers?
We got to talk about food. Joe.
I'm gonna have we got to go
What
get
do
some.
Italians talk about?
How fat are we?
We got to go to the Page Diner after this and get some real burgers. No,
Well,
but
we're 2 years away from talking about our health. That's an
Yeah,
issue.
I know.
Old Italian guys go from the
burgers.
food to your health.
Right,
I
exactly.
was at the
Jackson
doctor last Thursday. My blood pressure's high. Bada bing.
I know it is crazy. I haven't seen so many doctors the last couple of years, and I'm in good. I'm in okay shape. But it's just like I'm going to the doctors tomorrow.
You have to do it. You turn
See?
50, you turn 60.
You start
years old.
breaking down. It's like a car.
Everything.
It's like a car. Your body is like a car.
But the soul, like George Harrison says, it stays the same. The soul says forever young.
Yeah, it's
The
true.
soul stay forever
Who
young.
would think that he would come to Staten Island to get
Yeah. how
to
about
get
that,
better,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. George Harrison.
Yeah, he wanted to
Did
get
he
that.
pass away here?
Yeah. He died
Staten
in
Island
the
Hospital?
hospital.
I
Yeah.
think
Oh, I
so.
didn't know this. Tell
And
me
there was
about
a-
this.
Special cancer wing that
Yeah.
they thought that he could save him, right, John?
On Staten Island, really?
Staten Island
Yeah.
Hospital, yes.
Dr. Lederman.
Wow.
Yeah, he was new kind of a.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. He went to Dr. Lederman, the guy that has the commercials on every.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
And
That
who
is
was, who was
wild.
the guy, the doctor?
There was a big scandal with that,
Yeah,
too.
with the autographs. Who
With
was the
the
guy that
autograph
kept
with the
getting
guitar.
autographs? Yeah, from him when he was still like that
Right.
big.
As he was dying, he made him sign a guitar. Yeah.
And it was, yeah.
Because I thought the guy was a hack. I mean, he's got the commercials every 30 seconds.
Well, no, his wife's a doctor, too, on the island. His wife's a dermatologist.
Oh, that's the same one.
Yeah.
Litterman
Yeah.
on.
Lambert's.
Yeah, you're in the firehouse.
Yeah, by Garano's house.
Yeah, I go to her.
Yeah, that's his wife.
Yeah, my wife's a 3-time cancer survivor. Thank God.
Thank God.
3
God bless.
times.
God
Yeah, you
bless.
are. You
Yeah,
are blessed.
strong.
No
man.
need to knock. I'm going to break your cojones, man.
Yeah.
God just say, God bless, man. You don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
big
Listen, you
sign
gotta-
that don't tap on the table.
Yeah, no, but that's
And you
my.
keep
This is
tapping on the
granite,
table.
man.
No,
This
no,
ain't
I don't keep it. That was the only time I did it.
Make the sign bigger. Maybe you'll see it.
No,
you know?
I'm the one who always tells everybody not to bang on the table.
So, Joe, what are you on and stuff? What can we listen to you?
I'm on the weekend, 7 to midnight,
Right.
and then I do a lot of stuff. I got a lot of shows happening. March 22nd.
Yeah, what's coming up?
At the St. George Theater, we have 80s.
That's a great little theater. I like the St. George.
Yeah, we do a lot
Every
of
time
shows.
I see a
there.
show
Yeah.
there, it's great.
Freestyle. We're doing May 18th, doing the Golden Oldies at Lehman College
Okay.
in the Bronx, with the Coasters and all those groups. May 31st, I'm going to do Sinatra meets the Sopranos at the Count Basie Theater.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, there's going to be, Paul, your buddies are going to be there.
Who's going to be there?
Let me look, hold on.
Vinny,
We're
right?
not there.
Well, Mike Martocci.
Okay.
Oh, he's
He's-
doing with he did
yeah.
something with Jason. And,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's who's going to be there.
Federico, Jason,
Vincent Curatolo, Federico, and Jason. We're going to be there.
That's
You
cool.
don't got Vinny Pastore going there.
He's got his other Sopranos
Vinny's
thing.
upset right now.
I didn't get invited.
I just read his post as I was waiting in the
Talking
green room.
Sopranos.
He's very upset today.
What's he upset about?
He's upset that they put the SAG Awards on Netflix,
Oh.
and he doesn't have Netflix.
Oh,
And he goes,
But they used to give that to free to the actors, right? Netflix, they did.
No.
Yeah, they did. It was
No.
part of the SAG
No,
thing a while ago.
they give you the screeners.
Yeah.
You got the you didn't get a couple
we only got a
of
couple
screeners,
this
right?
year.
I got everything digital. Who needs it?
Yeah, I didn't get. I
I
I
didn't
got
get
2
the physical.
I
DVDs
do
this year.
digital,
I got
man.
2.
All I got was like maybe 6 of them. You
That's
know,
because they converted to the digital thing.
Yeah.
They don't want to give out the
right?
hard copies,
Yeah. They
you
want
know?
to save money.
Yes,
Oh, yeah?
exactly.
Yeah, they want to save money.
So,
Bobby, what's your favorite movie of the year? You have a favorite?
there are a few. I mean, I did like Honora. I liked Hard Truths. Piano Lesson was great. They're all very good. Emily Perez was good.
See,
But I
Conclave?
guess-
Conclave
She's
was
so
my
good.
favorite.
Conclave was excellent, but I did like, I guess, Honora for its humor and Sean Baker, because I saw some Sean Baker films from 2008 on Criterion, because I subscribed to Criterion, 3 by Sean Baker. And he really does films about the human condition. One was called Takeout, Chinese guy, he's from China, of course, and he's trying to pay off the people who paid for him to get there. He's got a wife in China and all that, so his struggle to make the money because they want it. It's great, but he has no script, Lou. He just goes to the neighborhood and wants to he does the Prince of Broadway, same thing with selling. You guys that sell the sneakers, the knockoffs, it's about that. And he just goes to the area and he develops a script and he gets the linchpin, he gets the what it's about and stuff like that. And for that, Prince of Broadway. The premise of that is the Prince of Broadway. He's selling all this stuff, and all of a sudden, a woman comes up to him and gives him a baby. Hey, you take care of the baby. And he really is the father of the baby, and he's got to like take care of the baby, and it's just great. It just unfolds like that.
I didn't see that.
The frustrations, and it's funny, and it's great. All of his films.
Yeah, he's a
really
talent.
good.
Sean Baker's a
I
talent.
never even knew about him.
Yeah.
I mean, so I say Honora. I'll say Honora.
Bobby, I want to see you on the stage again. The
wanna
first
do
time I
it.
ever saw you act, I think, and we became friends, is when you were doing Golden Boy back in the day.
Yeah, I love
Bobby's a
stage.
phenomenal stage. And
stage.
as actors, Joe, there's nothing like being on stage. Bobby will tell you.
You're good too, man.
The TV is fine and being in front of the camera, but being on stage for 2 hours, whatever like that, it just, you know,
That puts the
you get the
amateurs
energy
and the
from
pros.
the audience and stuff.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm dying to do a
Yes.
play. I haven't done a play in a couple of years myself.
Hard work.
Dying to do
What
it.
was your favorite movie this year?
I want to say Conclave.
Yeah?
And not even about the narrative, but I'm blessed. I have a really beautiful large screen TV. I'm a TV nut, so I know how to collate. I love to play with the TV, and my pictures are just beautiful. People are like,
dynamic.
wow, that's such a great picture.
Right.
So, but the great thing about Conclave is if you see it on a really nice, either in a movie theater, or the colors and the cinematography was amazing. The color of the robes and the shots of inside the Vatican and stuff and the stones, it was just beautiful. Mm-hmm. The cinematography was beautiful. I was agape at watching that. I mean, really. And then, of course, the twist at the
Oh,
end.
Complete Unknown. I love that movie.
I didn't see it yet.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, me too.
Timothy Chalamet was.
And he's the youngest. He was the youngest actor now to win Best Actor for SAG.
Yeah,
29
but I
years
mean,
old.
he literally like became Bob Dylan. Sounded like him, spoke like him, sang like him, played the guitar. I mean, and Ed Norton.
Pete Seeger, right?
Ed Norton in the movie.
Learned how to play the banjo, Ed Norton.
Yeah,
He was excellent,
but
too.
he got robbed at the awards. He should have won.
Yeah, he
A
didn't
lot
win.
of actors got robbed, like Mickey Rourke, like for the wrestler. I thought he really deserved the award that year.
And he won everything but the Academy Award, right? He won the Golden Globe that
Well, they
year.
were expecting
Right.
Wicked to like take everything,
Yeah.
and it literally ran.
We broke balls about the Amelia Perez movie because I just first of all I was really pissed off that the actor was nominated for Best Actress award.
What? So he
The transgender
Saldana?
actor,
Saldana?
the
Oh,
transgender
oh.
actor. Okay, that really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
You want to nominate him, that's fine, but not nominate him in what his gender is. It took a
Right.
spot away from a deserving actress, in my opinion. So we broke balls about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thing about it is just the story itself about this killer. You know, a cartel leader going through the transition. I didn't care about the character, and that takes me right out of a movie. If I don't care about the characters in the film, then I don't care. It would take me right out of it. So that's why I haven't even really given the movie a shot, because the story already is just bugging the shit out of me. It's like, why would I care about this guy that is a murderer and who knows how many women and children he has killed, raped, pillaged, whatever?
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to care about his transitioning, you know? Just so.
Yeah, that was tough.
But Bobby loved the movie. He said the movie was.
I think what I liked about it, and I don't condone that kind of behavior. That of course, a drug cartel leader, but the fact that he wanted to be something different than what he was, to transform himself into, and when he found his nature love really for the first time, it was cathartic in that way. In that
So is it a
sense.
story of redemption also for him, or
I mean,
her, or
I think that yes, of course, that too. You know what I mean? That too. But there wasn't a religious tone to it, of course. But he did find who he truly was, and what he truly was. His nature wasn't that, or her nature wasn't really. His nature wasn't that. But I understand what you're saying. I think it. They should be, the genders should be what they are, and it does kind of take away.
it took a
does
spot
take
away from
away
somebody that was
from-
deserving. In my
Yes.
opinion.
What was the
it
name
does
of the
take
movie
away
again?
from- Emily Perez.
I got to check
Amelia
it out.
Perez or Emily Perez? What is it?
Amelia.
I think it's Amelia.
It's on demand
Amelia
now, I
Perez.
guess.
It's on
Probably.
Netflix.
Oh, it's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Is that
yeah.
the one with Zoe Saldana?
Yeah.
She's a great
Yeah,
actress.
she's good.
I think she just won a SAG award last
She
night,
won
too.
Best Actress.
I think she did.
What'd you think of Substance?
Didn't see it.
It
Oh,
was.
with
It was.
Demi
I thought
Moore.
it was very good, but the last half hour was just
I know
crazy.
it's crazy. I know.
It went way off the rails.
Sci-fi crazy.
Moore.
And
Yeah.
she won. She won.
She was
won
very
a SAG
good.
award.
She played the part great, and I can understand why she won. But the film itself, as a whole, it just was like
They went off the rails. It was interesting.
It's
It
a
was-
good way to describe it.
And
Lawrence. Did
excuse
go
me,
off the rails.
Bobby. Let me, but in 1 second, when you said before about Mickey Rourke,
Right.
were you meaning then, or
The
did
wrestler.
they, or did,
The wrestler.
yeah, did they
The
bring
wrestler.
that? Did they bring that back up in now, or you're talking about then?
No, I mean, I didn't bring that. I'm bringing it up that particular year. I thought
Yeah.
he deserved the Academy
Yeah.
Award. I thought it was a brilliant performance.
I
that
thought
he
they
did.
nominated because sometimes they do that with certain
No,
films.
no.
Okay.
I thought he really deserved. Who got it that year?
He was great.
Who won the award that year?
Oh, geez, I don't remember.
Yeah.
He was great. In
I
that
don't
movie.
remember.
Yeah, that was a
the
good
story
movie.
itself.
He was really good.
He really is a good actor.
Did you ever meet him, Bobby? He's a character.
I never met him. No.
Yeah, I used to hang out with him a little bit when I lived
Yeah.
in L.A. at
The young,
Arnold
the young Mickey
Schwarzenegger's
Rourke
place.
without all that
My
stuff.
favorite movie with him is Angel Heart.
Yeah, you like Angel Heart?
Oh,
It's a good movie.
That's a
good-
great movie.
Diner. I love Diner. I
De
love
Niro
Diner.
in that movie is so good.
I love Diner. But we used to hang out at Arnold Schwarzenegger's place. I used to be very friendly with Ray Mancini, the ex-fighter, when I was living out in
Boom,
L.A.
boom, right?
And he would take me to the cigar place. And the first time we met Mickey, I met him. He walked into this place, and there's the famous, the haircutting place, Gianni, the famous Beverly Hills haircutting
Right.
place. Everybody was there. And Mickey walks in. So this is mid-90s, I would say. So this is a good 30 years ago. He walks into the place, got jeans on, white T-shirt, white T-shirt. His hair is fried orange. He was doing something with his hair, and he had Band-Aids on, and it was all bloody. There was all these bloody bandages, not bandages. And everybody, his friends were like, "What are you doing?" And he said he had just come from, he was burning off some of his tattoos. And they were like, "Well, you just go put a fucking shirt on. You're bleeding all over the place." He was always a character, man. Yeah. I did a commercial with him.
Did you?
Back in the day.
Did you?
And I was smart. The first thing I did is when I introduced myself, I says, Mickey, we have mutual friends. Loved me for the rest of the day because I knew some of his friends, you know.
Yeah.
But he was rough on a set that day. He was rough.
Well, Bruce's song for the film, the One Trick Pony, was just such a brilliant song.
Yeah.
The song.
He's a great actor. Great actor.
Mickey does 3 takes. That's it. If you work with Mickey, you have to get in 3 takes and then he moves on. That's it. You don't get in 3 takes.
Pope of Greenwich Village is my favorite.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
The Mickey Rourke was supposed to be at the Last Chiller, all advertised. And
Yeah.
he canceled the night before.
Was he?
Yeah, and the promoter, I'm not going to mention his name. He got a lot of shit for it. So he was all drunk at the end of the night. He's like, "Fuck him!" He's like cursing him out. He goes, "Anyone want Mickey Rourke's number? Here it is." And he's like giving Mickey Rourke's number out.
Oh, that
I
guy
mean,
has a death wish.
That guy has a death wish. Bad,
Whoa,
you know.
That's not nice.
That's not nice. It's not nice
That's
at all.
not nice.
But Hard Truths, did you see that one with Francis Baptiste, Mike Lee? Another film that's created in rehearsal about a woman who is just pessimistic. She has a family. And she's just great, funny film. Hard Truths. It's a great one too.
I saw that
So
Fresh
many.
Kills on.
With Esposito?
Yeah,
That one? And who else was in it?
she put that whole movie together, right?
Yeah,
was that?
yeah.
How
She
was that?
executive produced.
Who's that great actor? That,
It was
yeah.
kind of bad.
She executive producing it.
You know what it was? What's his name? The bald guy.
Yeah, Lambadozzi.
Yeah.
Dominic Lombardozzi,
He's
yeah.
great. He's a great actor.
Yeah, he was great
I
in.
just worked with him, yeah.
In The Irishman.
Oh, you
He
did?
was great.
I just worked with Dom.
He was so good in The Irishman.
He's great.
Yeah, I think that it just dragged on more than the storyline itself.
Yeah.
That show, right? Fresh Kills.
Yeah, I was watching him saying, you knew where it was going.
Yeah.
You knew where it was going. But it was nice to see parts of the island in it. and everything.
Yeah.
But very independent.
I got a film on live stream coming out called Critical Acclaim. I did it in Utica, New York.
You did that? Yeah.
They had a premiere at the Cinema Village. That's pretty cool. So it's going to be on live stream. But it takes a little time to get that together, from the director was telling me, to get it to live stream. Probably be on Prime.
Oh,
You know what I
great.
mean?
Great.
So
We look
it's
forward
an
to seeing
interesting
that.
story.
Always. Bobby, always look forward to seeing
spiritual
your work.
story about a guy just gets a bad review and he.
You're doing Gravesend? Are you in Gravesend?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that.
I know. I'm waiting for
Wait a second. You better be careful, man. People listen to this. Man.
Yeah, I'm in Gravesend.
I know you are. You're in jail.
No, I'm out of jail now.
Oh, are you?
out of jail?
Oh, so
when
it's
we were in
season
jail,
3.
we filmed it across the street in the prison.
Now,
And now I'm out of jail.
everybody in the country is on Gravesend but me and John.
Yeah, this is the thing, and you want to
Shaquille
laugh.
O'Neal, Shaq's in there.
And this is the truth,
They
guys.
were shooting with Shaq yesterday, I heard.
I have some acting training, but I don't say I'm an actor because I'm not an actor.
Please
I'm
don't.
I'm a character actor. But yeah, you direct me, I could deliver, but I can't do no big parts because I'm not trained for that. But yeah, I could put
Well,
me.
don't say that because like Sean Baker uses mostly amateurs and maybe one or two. Like Honora had one professional, one guy that was in all of his films. So you don't really have to.
Right.
You don't have to be a professional nowadays. You can do it with a good director.
Put it this way,
Can it
that-
be done, Lou?
Yeah,
It can be
you
done.
need a good director. Like, listen, I know
Look
I
at Scorsese, right?
I'm a character actor. So anyway, everyone asks me, how come you're not on Gravesend? Everybody and their mother's on Gravesend. You had William on your show. All these guys that were on your show.
You know why? You know why you're not on?
All of these guys are on your show. I go.
You know why you're not on? You want to know the truth?
Why?
Because you impersonate him too well.
Joe, where's your website? People could find you.
I'm on everything. I'm on Facebook. I got 3 Facebook pages, Instagram, Twitter, X.
Okay.
At what
I'm
Monday
on-
to Friday again? What's your? I listen to it. I forget when I'm
Oh, the
listening to
weekends.
you.
I do the weekends.
You
now.
do the weekends,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you used to be during the week too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They change. Everything changes.
And CBS, not ABC, John. Get the
CBS.
station.
I always know that.
WCBS.
Bam.
Yeah. And what about you, Bobby? Where could they find you if you want to be fit?
Homemade on Amazon. Get the book on Homemade on
Hold it
Amazon. Instagram. There you go. Where? What camera? There it is, right there.
There it is.
All right.
You're on the air.
Instagram. You know what I mean. My Facebook page and look for me in Critical Acclaim. It'll be coming out live stream on Prime.
Yeah, check it out.
very shortly. So
Great, man. Thanks, guys. Wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Johnny.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. It was a great pleasure.
Yes,
to
you
meet
guys,
Absolutely.
we're going to have
Thank
you
you.
back
Thank
on
you,
in the
buddy.
future. Well, it's about that time we got to say goodnight. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And don't forget, remember what I said. Whose balls could you break today? Good night.